Welcome to the Rum Revival. My name is Arminder. Today we're covering a fairly new and limited rum. This is Maison Velier's Flag Series Trinidad 2002. Now this is one of two releases in Maison Velier's Flag Series, which was launched in the US to celebrate the company's 5th anniversary. Let's take a moment here to talk about what Maison Velier is. It's a global spirits importer and distributor, and it's a joint venture between two spirits companies, Maison de Whiskey in France and Velier in Italy. Hence the name. Combined, both companies have over 130 years of experience when it comes to spirits. Maison and Velier distributes various spirit bottlings from each of those two companies' portfolios, as well as the rums from Hamden Estate in Jamaica and the Clarins from the Spirit of Haiti lineup. You know, those guys right there. there. So the Flag Series is a collection of single cask rums that Maison Velier calls rare and exceptional. They're bottled at cask strength, no additives, no coloring, no filtration. Each release highlights a specific country and tends to be a very old rum, and the label reflects the whole Flag Series concept by showcasing a deconstruction of that country's flag, in this case, the flag of Trinidad and Tobago. And I do want to pause and highlight this label because frankly for me, it might be in the lead for my favorite label design of the year. Maybe I should do like awards or something at the end of the year. Anyways, I've always been a firm believer that less is more when it comes to design, and I absolutely appreciate the minimalism here. It's eye-catching and striking. Now the label is full of information, but what you won't find on this label is what distillery made the rum inside. But it's an easy guess because, well, there only happens to be one rum distillery in Trinidad, Trinidad Distillers Limited, which are the folks that make that bottle of bitters in your pantry, good old Angostura bitters. Now this is a molasses-based rum. The fermented molasses was distilled on a column still in 2002 and then aged 15 years in an ex-bourbon cask in Trinidad, and then it was aged an additional 5 years in Europe. And it's bottled at a lean and mean 63.1% ABV. Now typically, when a cask of rum from the Caribbean makes its way to Europe for some additional years of aging, usually that means that it was sold by the distillery to a third-party rum broker in Europe. Now that rum broker in Europe will then sit on it for a couple years, letting it age additionally, and then eventually they will sell it to a company that will bottle it up and release it, which is exactly what Maison and Velier have done here. And if you like to get nerdy, the label on the back lists the congeners level at 571.8 grams per hectoliter of alcohol. What does that mean? Well, congeners are organic compounds created during fermentation that provide the flavors and aromas of a spirit. Now there are other flavor and aroma compounds that are created during aging, but we won't get into all that. I'll make a video in the future that gets into the nitty and gritty of congeners, esters, and the source of flavors. All you need to know is that 571.8 is pretty high compared to your standard lightly aged white rum. Now of course the higher the number doesn't mean that it makes that rum that much better or anything like that, but it gives you a sense of the level of oomph, I guess, you know, like oomph on the palate, intensity of flavor maybe. And hey, if you like more minutia, the cask that was bottled up to make this offering is cask number TD02TML02. And look, that might be fairly meaningless information for us, but I don't know, it does kind of personalize the rum a little bit, kind of gives it a bit of an identity, and you can almost picture that nondescript cask kind of just sitting in a warehouse, just aging away. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, let's finally drink this rum. It's got a good amount of color on it, considering that it's been aged in total of 20 years. So on the nose, I get this like brief whiff of iodine and citrus, but beyond that, I really am mostly picking up like musty and tangy berries. So there is this, whoa, all right, still going. So there's this initial hit of what I can only describe as like electrified lychee, maybe with like a touch of smoke. And I hope people are familiar with lychees because they are delicious like tropical fruits found in like Southeast Asia. They're a mix of both like sweet, floral, and a touch of acid. And that first sip, that's all I get, but like maybe electrified in the sense that it's a touch burnt or maybe like a tinge of metal. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but trust me, that first sip, that's primarily what I get. My God. All right, so it's still going. I'm gonna pause here and just enjoy that sip and that finish. So on subsequent sips, I lose all the lychee. Now I'm predominantly just getting mint, but not like a fresh bouquet of mint that would be like in your cocktail. This is more of old dry mint leaves. Not the mint that you would leave in your refrigerator or an ice bath. This is dried up mint left on the counter overnight because you made one too many cocktails, got drunk, and then forgot to go downstairs to clean up your mess in the kitchen. Totally not speaking from experience or anything like that. Now the finish is dry and ashy, and it's predominantly menthol. And boy, does it keep on going. Yeah. This might be one of the most enjoyable finishes I've had in a very long time. And look, I've never smoked menthols before, so I don't really know what that's supposed to be like, but I imagine it's something like this maybe. For all the kids that are watching this, first of all, hey kids, you shouldn't be watching this. This is about alcohol. And secondly, smoking is not cool. Now, given that this is a single cask release, only 240 bottles of this were produced, and it's been out for about a month, so a lot of those have probably already been snatched up, but I wanted to just talk about it because it's very good. And if you have the opportunity to try it, I definitely think it's worth doing. Now, it's fairly pricey. Generally, it's over $200 for the bottle. It's tough to make a recommendation to others to buy something so expensive, given that there's amazing bottles that are under $100, but there are a couple things to keep in mind. First of all, the ABV is very high, and it's been aged 20 years, and that's a very long time. And it's a unique and singular experience since it's coming out of a single cask. So for some people who value those things, it's totally worth the money. To each their own. But for me, I find this rum to be delicious, and if I had the opportunity to buy it again, for that price especially, I might. And look, I think for the growth of rum as a category, we've got to have rums at all price points. Premium rum is a good thing, as long as things don't get out of hand like bourbon. I do not want that. So this is something that I really look forward to taking off my shelf every now and again, and really taking the time to enjoy and savor it, to really let that finish kind of just wash over me. Thanks for watching. Cheers.